I mean, it just feels like if Lamar Jackson doesn't go for 40, this is a bye for whoever's playing Brendan right now. Lamar Jackson doesn't go for 40,
The Dolphins, third down 2. It's Jackson, oh my gosh, here he goes. He'll sprint. He's being chased by Howard. Looking behind. You can kiss him goodbye.
Kind of have that high ceiling Trey Lance with that, high floor Tom Brady combo at quarterback. That high ceiling Trey Lance.
And he's got the air cast on that right leg. He's being carted off the field.
All right, let's do this. Welcome back to week 3 of Bakes Takes. Not gonna lie, some of these episodes are harder to do than others. This one's gonna be a little tough to get through, but I made an obligation to you guys. Sometimes you have to wake up and face the music, and that's what I'm going to attempt to do today for you. I'll start by just addressing the elephant in the room. It just kind of felt like what could go wrong did go wrong out there this past weekend. Obviously, Lamar Jackson, right off the top, was just a massive issue. Dropped a nice little 40 burger on me. Started racking up points early, really didn't stop throughout the entire game. And that was tough. And then it also doesn't help Trey Lance leaving in the first quarter. James Conner also leaving mid-game due to injury. A little bit poor management on my part. Gabe Davis, late scratch in last night's contest, had no one really to put in for him, so I just elected to not start anyone in my flex. There's weeks that you want back. There's weeks where, things just don't go your way, but that's fantasy football. That's what we do. That's what we sign up for. These next couple weeks are going to be huge, just to see whether this turns into a bit of a lost season or if I'm able to get things kind of back on track. But obviously 0-2 is not where I pictured myself through 2 weeks. It's not where I want to be. It's not where I like to be. As the only 2-time champion of this league, I have faith that I can turn it around. But things aren't looking too promising right now with the 0-2 start. But hey, I gotta tip my cap to Brendan. Job well done, and we're on to week 3. I'll run through my power rankings here following last week's matchups, heading into the week 3 matchups. Some shuffling, some staying pat where they were. Starting at number 10, we have Pigskins, Kevin. I had him pretty low last week, and nothing this week helped the cause. Picked up another loss. If Derrick Henry just keeps behaving the way that he has, this team just doesn't have a lot going for it. Doesn't have a lot of points up and down that lineup. So right now, things aren't trending well for Pigskins, and they are going to be in that number 10 spot. Number 9, we have Monrovia Mart Fan Club. Luckily picked up a win against Pigskins this past week, but still just not a team that is really on the precipice of anything this year. Still has A.J. Dillon in that 2 spot, running back wise, and just kind of has a lot of question marks up and down the lineup. 8 spot, we have Pool Draw 240. Moved up 2 spots. Just going to be very, very dependent on Lamar Jackson this year. And as I said, if Lamar Jackson doesn't go for 40, it's there's not much going on that lineup either. But Lamar Jackson can go out and win you games, so he's going to be that 8 spot, just very, very dependent on Lamar. Number 7, I have Kyle. Kyle's lineup, it's fine. Again, running back strong. Kyler Murray, strong. I mean, he looked really good this past week, especially late in that game. But again, just tight end, some question marks, wide receiver, some question marks. Just enough not there for me to not feel too confident moving him up any higher. Number 6, dropping 1 spot. I still just trust the process. I have myself, Random Football Club. Again, obviously 0-2, number 6 might be high. I'm trusting the process. The number of times where your quarterback's going to go down in the first quarter and you're not going to start anyone in your flex and you're going to get, a 40 burger dropped on you. I'm just going to bank on it not being frequent. And again, I'm not putting myself up in the upper echelon of teams, but I have myself right there in the 6th spot as of now. Obviously, if I go out and lose to Andrew next week, I will be forced to move myself down significantly. But as for now, I'm going to keep myself there in that 6th spot. The biggest change from last week to this week is going to be Andrew, in fact. Coming in at number 9 last week, he has vaulted up the rankings all the way up to number 5. Again, I mean, we'll see if it's repeatable with 2 wide receivers on the same team going for over 30, but he put up a good week, put up a lot of points, and won pretty handedly. So I had to tip my cap there. I have Andrew there at the number 5 spot. Number 4, Jared. I don't know. Had an okay week. Unfortunately, got the loss, but still put up well over 100 points. I'll keep him hanging around here at the top until he gives me a reason not to. So I have him there at the 4 spot. And out of the top 3, I think last week I said the top 2 had kind of separated themselves. I'm on the verge of throwing E-Will in there on kind of there being a pretty clear-cut top 3 right now. The 3 spot, I do still have Team E-Will. I mean, us Commanders fans saw it up close and personal. We got St. Brown pretty hard, but he just has a good-looking team, strong team. You're gonna have to go out and beat Team E-Will this year. He's not gonna beat himself. He just has too many consistent players up and down that lineup. Number 2, still have Old Me Bogeyman. I mean, as soon as you start Ramondre Stevenson, you're basically canceled from any talks of being in the number 1 spot. And then number 1, we have Lance. This Lance could stay up here a while. I mean, it's just a good-looking team. No holes really at all. If 1 or 2 players have down weeks, he has 3 or 4 that can pop off. So Lance, I see him just putting up consistently high numbers all year, and just being a team that no one really wants to face. As far as this week's Bricked Up Manager of the Week, it's got to be Andrew. Andrew obviously vaulted up 4 spots in the rankings, and he was just watching Tyreek Hill fair catch balls behind the Ravens defense there in the second half. I mean, it was a performance like I've never seen from 2 wide receivers. Again, I don't know if you can count on Tua going 500 yards and 6 touchdowns each week, but you also have to enjoy it when it happens. So, I mean, he had to have just been belly laughing that entire second half of that Dolphins game, and that's why the Week 2 Bricked Up Manager of the Week is none other than Andrew Guion. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be back at it again next week following those matchups. So, hey, hopefully I can get it back on track, but we'll see what happens. I'm either going to be in a much better mood, or it's going to be a pretty somber 4th episode next week. But appreciate it, guys.